Welcome to the Dance Studio Empire podcast, a mix of business strategies, simple tips for studio growth and success, with a touch of inspiration, motivation, plus raw and honest conversations to ensure you are building your studio empire. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, studio owner for 30 years, dance business coach, and the author of the book, Teaching Dance Beyond the Steps. My business philosophy is creativity is our superpower, and I believe we all have the means and ability to infiltrate this into our studio. Just sometimes we can get too busy, distracted, or overwhelmed to see that. So that is exactly why I am here to help you. So if you are ready to master the art of creating demand, unravel the dance of numbers in your studio, and run your business to its full potential, then you are in the right place. Okay, let's do this. Sit back and relax, and let's get ready to build your dance studio empire. Hey dance fam, welcome back to this week's episode of the Dance Studio Empire podcast. Now, today we are getting down to a business topic that might not sound glamorous, but is absolutely essential if you want to run a top-notch dance studio. And I am talking about the Dance Studio Handbook, or as some call it in the businessy world, an operations manual. Now, I sometimes refer to it as a handbook or a playbook. It is completely up to you. The name actually doesn't matter. But what I do suggest you do is stick around, because this concept might be a game changer for what your studio needs. Some of you I know already have an operations manual or a studio handbook. I get that. Some people probably haven't even thought about it. Some probably know and are living in denial because of, the perceived workload that goes into it. But I promise you, once it is done, the majority of it's done anyway, because it is a continually updated document. But once it's done, it is a game changer. So stick around. This might help you out. Now, you might be wondering why you need an operations manual or a studio handbook in your dance studio. Essentially, it's the roadmap or the blueprint for you to run your studio efficiently. So if you think of it like an encyclopedia of your business, where you record every little detail from restocking the first aid kit to the ins and outs of class scheduling to marketing plans, this document should have meticulous detail so that anyone who picks it up knows exactly what is expected from them. And why is it such a big deal? Well, it's not just about making your life easier, which is definitely a win, but it's also about creating a studio that can function seamlessly, no matter who's running the ship, right? So if it's you, great, but who knows? This is the unpredictability of the future. So imagine if for some reason you needed to, or you wanted to step away from your studio for a bit, or say you want to grow your team, or you want to expand. With a rock solid operations manual, you can do this seamlessly. Or if sometime in your future you think there's a possibility of selling your studio or expanding to new locations, having this comprehensive studio handbook then becomes a major selling point. It's actually what you do sell when you do sell your business. It adds just a great deal of value to your dance studio empire. All right, so let me break it down why having a studio handbook is a game changer and what should be included in yours. Okay, so the first thing is efficiency and consistency. Now, these are words that we use often in business, particularly if you're growing. You want to be running your business efficiently and you need to be doing things consistently. And having a handbook will ensure that every aspect of your studio runs smoothly and consistently. From simple things like the daily opening procedures to the process of onboarding and handling class registrations, and just documenting everything so that everyone's on the same page. The next one is seamless transitions. So if life does throw you a curveball, like you need to take a sudden break, or maybe you lose a significant team member, having documented processes allows someone else to step in without much fuss or without much more effort that you need to actually put in. Also, if a teacher was to call in sick, then a cover teacher who is stepping in to cover them, they can access this, and then they know your policies, your procedures, and your guidelines for your expectations for running your classes. So it's easy for that as well. Next one is scalability. So if you ever think there is a possibility, like I mentioned earlier, of expanding your empire, your studio handbook becomes your expansion blueprint. So whether that's new locations, new staff, additional classes, they can just follow the exact systems, guidelines, and structures, ensuring that you then maintain the professionalism across your whole studio. Next one is training new team members. So when you bring in a new team member, whether it's for front desk assistant or teacher, having a handbook just expedites their onboarding. So they can quickly grasp the studio's ethos, operations, and your customer service expectations and standards. The next one is added value. So, as I mentioned earlier, should you ever decide that you want to sell your studio, a comprehensive studio handbook becomes a really valuable asset. Prospective buyers will see a well-organized, efficient operation that they can just simply step into and then start running the business. Okay, so there's reasons why you should be doing it. And so the next thing is, what should you include? Now, this list, again, this is a short list essentially, but it's somewhere to start. But there are so many areas that can be covered. But let me just go through a few. First thing, the daily opening and closing procedures. And so for us, it is turn on the lights, turn on the air conditioning, turn on the sound systems, set up the safety chains, put out the A-frames at the entrance, check the studio floors for cleanliness and safety. That's an example of our opening procedure. So before they do anything, so any staff member coming in, they know if they are first on site, this is what they need to do. The next thing could be classroom expectations and management. So documenting your classroom expectations, your policies, the guidelines that you want your teachers to follow. This is then how you ensure the quality of how your classes is maintained. Because essentially you're not going to be there all the time. You might be in the beginning, but there will be a time that you may choose to step away from the day-to-day, but you need to make sure that what you are promising your families with all of your marketing and the promises that when they come to your studio, this is what they're going to get. You need to make sure that your teachers know exactly what that is. And this information can be held in your handbook. Next one is marketing plans. So you could basically outline strategies for all of your marketing events, for your classes, and for promotions. So include social media posting schedules and content creation guidelines. It's again another place to house it. So if you did have another staff member who might be helping out with marketing, this is something that they can access so they know what is expected. It's also a place where they can keep you updated with what they're doing as well. So, you are also keeping your eyes across everything as well. And the next one would be customer service, the customer journey, and also the onboarding protocols. So these are the little details, the step-by-steps of how you might handle inquiries, how you handle feedback, conflict resolution, which not that any of us like to do, but it's still good to have there in case it does happen. And within your handbook, you could provide scripts for maybe common scenarios and sort of emphasize the importance of that positive customer experience and exactly how you would do it, the step-by-steps of that journey and the onboarding. So if someone reaches out to you, they come for a trial, and then you enroll them. Like, what are the touch points? What do you expect from your staff to ensure that this family becomes enrolled and stays for years and they're super, super happy? Next one could be your financial procedures. So this could be documenting how the handling of tuition payments or late fees or refunds. How do you handle that? How do you want staff to handle that if they were to step in? And this could also include guidelines for tracking your expenses and managing the studio's financial health. Another one is your cover teacher guidelines. So just providing just a really clear plan for anyone that comes in to cover for other teachers. And this could be class plans, but more importantly, emergency procedures, which brings me to another point. Having that documented is really important as well, because you want to be detailing the protocols for handling emergencies, for medical incidences, and like maybe natural disasters. If the power goes out, what do you expect your teachers to do? The things like that should be, because you're not necessarily always going to be there. So you need to make sure everyone knows. They need to know, how do they evacuate the building? So say the fire alarm goes off. Where do your teachers know where they need to move the kids if that happens? Your performance and concert planning. So you could outline a step-by-step process for the planning and the executing of your concerts or competitions, how you want your competition teams to run, any events that you may be holding. You include your timelines, your marketing for this, the roles and responsibilities of the staff. So, what do you expect for the teachers who are there helping you out? And communication strategies with the parents. Like, how do you communicate all this information? This would be under the concert planning. And another one is your studio maintenance and cleaning. So if you do own the building, or you're hiring or leasing a unit that's essentially yours, how do you document routine maintenance tasks, or keeping the space clean and the equipment working? What happens if something breaks? Do your staff know what to do? You want to know what are the guidelines for handling those repairs and emergencies. And then finally, the other important one is the staff development. Outline your plan for ongoing staff training and professional development. You can always include resources as well that for further education and skill enhancement for your teachers. Now, like I said, the list is endless. This is certainly not everything, but it's just to give you an idea if you haven't really thought about, what a studio handbook would look like for you. This is just definitely somewhere where you can start. But in reality, you will continue to update your handbook, because you'll be introducing new things, new policies. You might change the way you run things. So it will be updated regularly. But once the majority of it's done, then it's done. The trick is just not to get overwhelmed and just start. And I know that sounds so much easier said than done, but the first question I usually get asked is, how do I get started? Okay, and so simply, you can just start by recording everything that you do each day. So just basically a tasking calendar. So keep a notebook next to you. This is how I started many years ago. I just kept a notebook next to me, and every time I would do something like respond to an email, return a phone call, I just documented exactly what I did and how I did it and why I did it. And so then that essentially then became that procedure and that I put into our handbook. You can also add it as a template. So this is how I respond to a new inquiry, and this is how I respond to a complaint, and this is how I respond to someone who wants to come for a trial. So I was able to then set up different templates, but this is just for someone who is stepping in. So when I had an official admin person come in who took over these tasks, they knew exactly what I wanted, how I wanted it written, and exactly what to do. So as you continue each of your tasks, you write them down, record them, because it will then become clear what you then need to include in your handbook. And another way you can do this is you can actually do a video, you could do a voice recording, or even a screen recording. Like if you're explaining something, maybe it's updating your website. And so you know how to do it, you know how to get into the back end and maybe update the details, but you want someone eventually to be able to step in and do that for you. Do a screen recording and explain it over the top. And then you can use that link. Then you can put it into YouTube or Vimeo. And then that link, they can click on that link and they can watch a video or listen to you through voice recording of how to do it. Now, the second question I get is, where should you be holding your handbook? And there's no right answer here. It's whatever you feel comfortable and confident with. So it could be a Word document if you like working in Word. A Google Doc is good. Like if you set it up, you can house it in your Google Drive. That also works well. But you also may have an option in a studio management or a team management software or app that you're using. So Asana works really well, as well as Trello. So there is no limit. It is whatever you are going to find easiest to log in and keep working on it. So just find what you like. All right, so there you have it. That's the lowdown on why you need a studio handbook. But remember, it's not just about today. This is for the investment of the future of your empire. And we think we know what we want in the future, and maybe that's what happens, but you just never know what could happen around the corner. So that's why having this handbook will put your mind at ease, and it honestly will make your life so much easier. It's just getting past the initial starting and filling out and keeping up to date with it. All right. Now, if this podcast has piqued your interest, or you would like to dive deeper into a conversation about this topic, as a Christmas gift to this community throughout December, I'm actually offering a free studio audit for anyone who wants to truly create a profitable, scalable, and sustainable studio in 2024. Now, I have limited spaces. I've got already people have booked in, and what I'm offering, that's it. So if you do register, you'll see the times, but that's it. So once they're gone, they are gone. I will just leave the link to register below, so you can just book in. But yeah, until then, keep it real, keep being efficient, and keep your studios shining. And that's a wrap for this week's episode. I'm so grateful to have you listen each week. If you found today's episode valuable, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate, 5 stars of course, and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback empowers me to keep delivering insightful content. To ensure you never miss an episode, hit that subscribe button and be sure to follow me on Instagram @_JenDalton_ and join our private Facebook group, Dance Studio Empire. Until next time, keep dancing, keep thriving, and keep building your dance studio empire.